What's up guys? Today we'll be checking out Black Adam on 4K. This isn't a review on how good or bad the movie is, I'm just going to share some of my thoughts on the audio and video quality. Now let's go over a few tech specs. The movie was shot in 4.5K, it's got a 4K DI, it's rated PG-13, runtime is 125 minutes, and the aspect ratio is 239:1, so there are black letterbox bars and the audio is in Dolby Atmos. First thing we're going to do is pop into the Atmos viewer. If you don't know what the Atmos viewer is, I'll leave a video link that tells you all about it down below in this video's description. Here at about 12 minutes in, we have a quieter scene with some good activity in the surround channels. It's mostly ambiance made to sound like you're inside a cave. At around 47 minutes in, there's a few Dr. Fates jumping in from the side channels and then getting punched back. And there's also people getting thrown into walls with music blasting in the high channels. At about an hour 5 in, Dr. Fate has this cool effect where you can hear his voice engulf you through all the speakers with a swirling effect that moves throughout the lower channels. This happens every time Dr. Fate is on screen talking. And pretty much every action scene will light up every one of your speakers. As for the bass response, it's aggressive for the entire duration of the movie. Whether it's just the score playing, characters walking, or things blowing up, your subs will hit hard down into the 30 Hz region and it should have no problems vibrating your walls. I think it might be a toss-up between Ambulance Moonfall and this movie for having the most ample usage of bass this year. Oh, and the dialogue was always easy to hear all the way through. If you're new to the channel and you're into new movies and audio and video gear and want to see more content like this, be sure to tap the subscribe button for new weekly videos. For video quality, if you can imagine a Zack Snyder movie without all the heavy film grain, that's what you get here. It's a crispy looking transfer with razor sharp details and clean sharp edges. Close-ups are finely rendered, so if you want to count the Rock's pores, you can definitely do that. The costumes, especially Black Adam's, has all these intricately detailed patterns that looks to be different symbols all over the surface of his outfit. Those come across crystal clear, as well as the battle-damaged armor on Hawkman's uniform. The CG is also really impressive with the amount of textural detail, although there are some that don't blend in perfectly with the live-action elements. The flames kinda stand out, and so does that final boss. As for the HDR and color palette, anything that takes place in Kahndaq is very warm with golden hues, which makes sense since they're basically out in the desert, so it gives off the feeling that it's pretty hot out there, while non-Kahndaq scenes have a much cooler teal look. Now this looks exactly the same as what I saw at the Dolby Cinema. It's got a very stylized visual aesthetic with overly hot highlights and extremely deep black levels. So there's a ton of shots, whether it's the clouds, the sun, or explosions, which are going to come off too bright and clipped. And a lot of the darker scenes are going to look as if the detail is being crushed. I'd say that the overall look is kind of like King of the Monsters or Skull Island, only a lot more detailed. Specular highlights will have you squinting, and the overall picture brightness isn't as bright as Aquaman, but I never felt it was dim. So for video quality, I'd have to give it a 9.8. It's a 4K crispy looking transfer with some eye-popping HDR, but it's got some occasional shoddy CG. For audio, I'm going to go with a 9.7. This is going to be the same criticism that I had for Man of Steel, where too much of a good thing can sometimes be bad. Since there's only about 5 minutes between action scenes in this over 2-hour movie, you're going to get a barrage of sound effects coming at you in every direction. Maybe an explosion in the front speakers, a plane in the back right, maybe something happening in the back left, all while the soundtrack is blaring in the background. So getting a clear distinction between effects can get lost in all this mayhem. That being said, if you've got a proper home theater setup, there are plenty of demo-worthy scenes that'll show off your setup, and the bass never lets up for the entire movie. Keep in mind this review was done using Black Adam on the Kaleidescape, so it's about a 64 gig file. This should also look exactly the same, if not better than what it would look like on physical media. I'll of course check out the 4K Blu-ray when that comes out, I think sometime in January. That's what I'm hearing. So what are your thoughts on Black Adam on 4K? Have you guys gotten a chance to see it, and what do you think of the transfer? Leave your comment down below and let me know. Now, if you do want to grab this movie, I'll leave some links for it down below in the video's description. As always, guys, thanks for watching. If you want, you can follow us on social media, and if you want to support the channel and get exclusive content or great discounts on audio and video gear, be sure to stop by our Patreon page. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you again in the next video.